The price of staying the same is higher than the cost of change. On the top shelf of an old wardrobe sat a brown leather suitcase. It had been there for nearly 12 years. Dust covered the handle. The travel tags had faded. 40-year-old Marcus looked at it every Saturday morning. He always told himself the same story. One day I'll use it. Inside the suitcase were things that represented another version of his life. A notebook filled with business ideas. A language-learning book he had never finished. Running shoes that still looked new. A passport that had only one stamp. The suitcase wasn't holding belongings. It was holding postponed possibilities. Marcus had become comfortable. Not happy, not fulfilled. Just comfortable enough to stop changing. His job paid the bills. His routine felt predictable. His dreams became quieter every year. One evening, his 12-year-old daughter, Lily, pointed at the suitcase. "Dad, where did you travel with that?" Marcus smiled awkwardly. "I never did." She looked surprised. "Then why do you keep it?" He didn't answer, because for the first time, he realized he wasn't keeping the suitcase. The suitcase was keeping him. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept hearing one question echo in his mind. What does staying the same already cost me? The following weekend, Marcus visited the same neighborhood barber he had known for years. While cutting his hair, the barber quietly asked, "Do you know what I've learned after 35 years? Marcus smiled. "What's that?" "I've watched boys become men. I've watched men become fathers. I've watched fathers become grandfathers." Then he paused. "But the saddest thing I've ever seen is someone who stopped growing long before they stopped aging." Marcus looked into the mirror. The barber continued. "Hair grows whether you want it to or not. Age keeps moving. But character only changes when you choose change." Before Marcus left, the barber handed him a small folded note. It read, "Life charges interest on postponed courage." Marcus folded the paper carefully. He didn't know it yet, but it would become the most expensive sentence he had ever read. A month later, Marcus joined a hiking group. Halfway through the trail, they reached an old suspension bridge stretching across a deep valley. Some people crossed immediately. Others hesitated. Marcus stood frozen. The bridge moved with every step. It looked unstable. One elderly guide noticed him. "You're afraid the bridge will shake." Marcus nodded. The guide smiled. "It will, but that's not the dangerous part." Marcus looked confused. "The dangerous part is believing that standing still is safer." He pointed behind them. "The mountain you're standing on is slowly eroding." Marcus stared at the ground beneath his feet. For the first time, he understood. Staying where you are isn't always security. Sometimes, it's slow decline disguised as comfort. Taking a deep breath, Marcus stepped onto the bridge. It swayed. His heart raced. But step by step, fear slowly lost its authority. By the time he reached the other side, he wasn't proud because the bridge had changed. He was proud because he had. Marcus began noticing something remarkable. Everyone calculated the cost of change, the money required, the effort, the uncertainty, the possibility of failure. Almost nobody calculated the cost of staying the same. The years lost, the confidence never built, the opportunities quietly missed, the friendships never formed, the books never written, the businesses never started, the healthier body never created. One evening, he opened a blank notebook. On one page, he wrote, "The cost of change." On the other page, he wrote, "The cost of staying the same." The first page contained temporary discomfort. The second page contained permanent regret. For the first time, the decision became obvious. 2 years later, the company where Marcus had worked for 17 years suddenly closed. Hundreds lost their jobs. Many were devastated. Some had never learned new skills. Some had no savings. Some had built their identity entirely around one paycheck. Marcus was different, not because he was lucky, because he had already begun changing. He had completed online courses, built new relationships, started a small consulting business during evenings, improved his health, developed confidence through consistent action. Losing his job still hurt, but it didn't destroy him. One former colleague asked, "How are you so calm?" Marcus smiled. "I changed before life forced me to." That sentence spread through the room. Several people never forgot it. Years later, Marcus finally opened the old suitcase again. This time, not with regret, with gratitude. Inside, he placed something new, a letter addressed to his grandchildren. It read, "If you're reading this, never confuse familiarity with purpose. Comfort is pleasant. Growth is meaningful. Every important season of my life began the day I accepted temporary discomfort, changing careers, learning new skills, apologizing first, taking care of my health, starting over. None of those decisions felt easy, but staying the same would have cost far more. Remember this: fear often exaggerates the price of change. Regret quietly hides the price of standing still. He closed the suitcase. This time, it no longer represented missed opportunities. It represented courage. Tonight, before you go to sleep, imagine someone hands you two invoices. The first is labeled the cost of change. It includes discipline, uncertainty, hard conversations, learning, failure, patience, starting again. The second invoice is labeled the cost of staying the same. It includes unrealized dreams, declining health, broken confidence, years of procrastination, untapped potential, a life that never became what it could have been. Now ask yourself one honest question. Which invoice is actually more expensive? Every successful person has paid the price of change. Every regretful person has unknowingly paid the price of comfort. Life never offers a free option. You will pay. The only choice is deciding which price leads somewhere worthwhile. The strongest marriages required change. The healthiest people embrace change. The wisest leaders welcome change. The happiest individuals accepted that growth feels uncomfortable before it feels rewarding. The future doesn't reward people for remaining the same. It rewards those willing to become someone new. 5 years from now, you'll either thank yourself for the difficult decisions you made today, or you'll wonder why nothing changed. Because nothing changes until someone chooses to. That someone can be you. Today, not when everything feels safe, not when fear disappears. Today, if this message challenged the way you think, subscribe to The Legacy Mind, where every conversation is designed to help you think deeper, live wiser, and become more. Remember this: change has a price. Comfort has one too. The difference is that the price of change is temporary, but the price of staying the same can last a lifetime.